Welcome to the Dojotalkpodcast. Please remove them shoes before entry. Sam Master is here, and you still have not taken off your shoes.
Yeah. Living every day to define man's mission. Looking to the sky for divine transmission. Deaf man's vision makes the blind man listen. Eyes on the prize, this is blind ambition. Thank you.
Welcome to another edition of the Dojo Talk Podcast. We're on episode number 76. It is finally some good weather where I'm at. I'm back with my co-host, the Anti-Cool. What's going on, man?
Sage Northcutt outran a bear.
Really?
Yes. You didn't see this?
I didn't see that. I didn't see that or the Street Fighter video that I've been hearing about him kicking glass out of a car.
I don't know. I
like
have
that.
no idea about that, but yeah, he was nearly eaten by bears, but according to him, he outran them. And somebody pointed out bears can run up to 30 miles per hour, and then my response to that would be, I believe Sage Northcutt can run faster than that.
That's funny because we had this conversation at work about like between a bear and a gorilla, like what animal do you think you could survive an attack with? If you had to pick between one, or which would you rather?
Bear.
Bear. All right. Yeah, I picked the bear too.
Like, I feel like gorillas are just like I feel like once I stopped bothering the bear, it would leave me alone. Like the gorilla, I feel like it would just go ape shit.
Right. I'm gonna have to look this up though. Sage is outrunning bears. I'm gonna blame it on.
According to him, he didn't know there were bears in California. So he was just up in the mountains, and he thought I don't know if he thought he saw or heard a bear, and he's like, I know there were bears here, and then he remembered he saw a statue of a bear somewhere, and then he had to Google it.
So young and naive. Yeah, they got bears. I think they got mountain lions and stuff up there too, man. Yeah, it goes down up there. That is not a place on my destination list. I'm not about that life. But shout out to Sage Northcutt. Saw he was growing his facial hair out too. It's probably why he outran the bear. Power of the facial hair helped him up. But it's been a interesting weekend to say the least. For anybody on the East Coast, particularly if you were in Maryland, I'm pretty sure I think some people from Philly got hit too. We had a pretty nasty windstorm up here Friday and Saturday. Friday when I drove home from work, like every traffic stoplight was out. People were just making up their own traffic rules. I had to dodge a basketball that probably got blown out from somebody's yard while I was driving home. A lot of people lost their power. I was lucky. I didn't lose my power. I did lose my internet for the last couple of days, but I got it back just in time to watch the fights last night. So that was cool, all things considered.
Clutch.
Right. very, very clutch. Though my internet was a little spotty, it didn't come back full force until this morning. It was a little spotty last night, so I had to rewatch a lot of these fights because there was a lot of skipping and buffering going on. But I'm still here. I didn't get blown away, so I'm thankful for that. I guess before we get started, as always, podcasts can be listened to on YouTube, SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes. If you're on iTunes, please rate, subscribe, and leave a review. You can follow me on Twitter at Serial Sensei, and you can send questions to dojotalkpodcast@yahoo.com. And real quick, shout outs to top cities for the listeners for the last 7 days. So coming in at number 1, Mountain View, California. Coming in at number 2, at Centerville, Maryland. Coming in at number 3, Charleston, Indiana. Don't remember seeing you guys on the list, so shout outs to y'all. Number 4, Birmingham, Alabama, and then rounding out number 5, we got Oakland, California. So really shout outs to California in general. You guys appear like a lot.
I wonder why.
Right. If only we had a connect. But shout outs to those cities, man. We appreciate the listens. So a lot of fights happened this weekend, but before we get into all that, I'll let you handle the fight news because as every week I never remember to take notes as a fight announcement. So
All right. The biggest and most important fight that was announced this past week was John Fitch taking on Paul Daly on May 12th in the Bellator cage. Do you have an opinion on this?
you know what I thought as soon as I saw that announcement, I flashed back to last week's episode when we were talking about what is Bellator's vision and where are they going, and I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know who out there really. No disrespect to John Fitch.
I'd like to point out this is the same card that has Bader King Mo on it.
Oh,
So that's back to back. That could go wrong in so many ways.
Well, so Paul Daly's leaving after his contract. I'm hoping this isn't his last fight, is it?
I think he has 4 more.
Okay, all right. 'Cause,
I could be wrong about that, but I remember him saying like he had a number of them left.
yeah, I don't know
What was he mad about? Was he mad that he didn't get a title shot? Was he mad that like they didn't book him enough?
Who knows? I don't say I stopped caring because I like Paul Daly, and like I want to see him stay over there, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why he's mad.
He has nowhere to go. I guess he can go fight in Asia. He can go fight for Ryzen or like One or something, but like how often will they be able to get him fights?
All right. Yeah, I don't know what that situation is, but that's gonna be a thing. To be honest, I don't see how long John Fitch is gonna last in Bellator.
Dude, wasn't he on a run like before he when he was whatever they're called now?
Was he?
He just beat Jake Shields.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, he's
We'll
on
see.
a 1, 2, 3, 4 fight winning streak. Wins over Okami, Zhao Zeffirino, Jake Shields, and Brian Foster.
No, go John Fitch. We'll see. I think Paul Daly's gonna put that streak to an end, but crazier things have happened. So.
Yeah. All right. Also on tap, Glover Teixeira, Volkan Ozdemir being targeted for UFC 224 in Brazil. That's the same card as Nunes versus Pennington. Former Bellator light heavyweight champion Phil Davis faces Linton Vassell at Bellator 200. Also on that card will be Gegard Mousasi fighting Rafael Carvalho for the middleweight title and Michael Venom Page fighting David Rickles. So David Rickles fighting whoever's replacing MVP.
Oh boy, yeah, I'm waiting for that headline to pop up.
Give it another week.
But if it happens, I'm grateful, but not hoping.
Yeah. Last one on the Bellator front, Emmanuel Sanchez versus Sam Sicilia will be the co-headliner for Bellator 198. Interesting note, both of these dudes are coming off of wins off of former champions. Sicilia beat Marcus Galvao, former Bellator bantamweight champion, in his debut for Bellator, and Emmanuel Sanchez coming off that submission over Daniel Strauss in his last fight. So, good things is happening. All right, back to the UFC. They announced like 5 fights for their Chile card, including Andrea Lee. She'll finally make her UFC debut in a flyweight fight opposite Veronica Macedo. Diego Rivas will fight Guido Canetti. Alexa Grasso and Tatiana Suarez will face off. That's a good fight. Poliana Botello and Suri Kondo, and welterweights Vicente Luque versus Chad Lepre. So some good fights mixed in there.
Yeah, it's a solid card. Glad to see Grasso back. Looking forward to see how that.
Oh, she just came off a shoulder surgery too, right? Something crazy like that. Last one, I guess. Amanda Serrano, set for her Combate Americas debut. 5-division world champion boxer, will fight on April 13th for Combate Americas. Combate Estrellas Uno. She'll be fighting Mexican flyweight Arendina Ordonez. She's 2-1, so has at least some experience.
Yeah, that'll be something to keep an eye on. I feel like if she racks up some knockouts, we'll be hearing about her real quick.
There will be a bidding war somewhere.
Yeah.
And I guess our last bit of news, non-fight announcement related. Do we get into Mr. Bones Jones?
I mean, we can talk about it for a little bit. I didn't watch it, so I don't have much to add on that front. But
all right, so the California State Athletic Commission has revoked his license and fined him $205,000. I saw a lot of people say it was kind of harsh. Not really. His license got really, he can reapply for a license in a year, meaning he can reapply for a license in August and still fight by the end of the year. But he will be facing further sanctions from USADA, which will probably be a slap on the wrist again, because that's what tends to happen with the bigger USADA cases, right? If there's somebody who's of value to the UFC, and John Jones is the second most valuable fighter in the UFC, they tend not to go all out on the punishment. But John Jones' case was especially bizarre. So, Sensei, if you were to be going to court for your livelihood, you would go all out in your defense, I assume, right?
I'm reading some of these quotes now.
Yeah. So John Jones walked into his hearing this past week with literally no physical evidence of his innocence at all.
He sounds like these quotes I'm seeing reminds me of I don't know, your when you were 5 and your mom caught you doing something bad, but you still tried to talk your way out of it.
That's John Jones.
He said, and I quote, "This situation is just really, really crappy. I don't understand how any of this happened. None of this stuff makes sense to me. I have no clue how this happened. I'm just trying to figure it out like everyone else." And,
don't you guys forget that John Jones is the victim here. But yeah, dude walks into court with well, not court, but I'm gonna just call it court, with no physical evidence that any of his supplements that he was taking had any what was the drug called? Turnable? The substance that he tested positive for. He also brought in a doctor that I'm 100% sure he hired the day before. Who basically said he went on bodybuilding forums to get a diagnosis on how the stuff could have gotten in his system. And then he made a plea that because of all the community service he's been doing, he's a good man, neglecting the fact that he's got that community service came from a hit and run accident. So,
yeah, this is just I saw. Did you see the Misha Tate Twitter post? Yeah, you know what? That's how people mad at her. But to be honest, and don't get me wrong, I love, like, as a fighter, I love Bones. I really miss him in the UFC. But I kind of hit the Misha Tate point too, where it's kind of like, you know what,
I
man?
don't feel bad for him at all.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for you, and I'm kind of, as much as I would love to see you fight again, I'm kind of through with it.
And they
Like,
called her a quitter.
it's.
So I'd be like, dude, you need to be a quitter.
Right, like, you
Yeah.
just, I don't know, man.
We didn't even get to the
Man,
part where he said his manager freaking falsified his USADA papers for him.
Oh yeah, he never read them.
Like that they have
He
to
said,
do like this little point and click. Yes, I've read the thing, or yes, I've watched the video type deal, and he just had Melky Kawa do it.
oh man.
Which I'm sure there are a ton of like fighters out there who just have their manager do the thing for them because they can't be bothered. Like you hear stories of it all the time, like, oh, I didn't know this was in my contract. That's because you didn't read it and you let your freaking manager do it for you. But like, do you go before a judge or a council that is the licensing body and just say that type of shit?
Right.
Like, he basically threw Malky under the bus.
And it'd be one thing, like, I mean, of course, you should always read your own paperwork, but, like, I could see if, like, another fighter did it because they don't have, like, the history that John Jones has.
Yeah.
But, like, when you got that checkered of a past, they're like, dude, you can't, you have to run a tight ship. Like, you have to run an airtight ship.
You know why he said that? Because he thought it would, like, exonerate him. He didn't say it to be truthful. He said it because he thought it was advantageous to himself.
They didn't put this on Fight
They
Pass,
did.
They?
I think they streamed it. And like, it might still be up. I'm not 100% sure.
I might punish myself and go back. And
Oh my god!
I know it's painful.
Martha Shen, what is this? Orquedes, a commissioner for the California State Athletic Commission. She had the quote of the night. By the way, the UFC gave you a Bentley, and you wrapped it around a utility pole. Did you not?
She went straight for the kill shot.
Yeah. I think she. It seems like she was the only person on the commission who actually did not care for Jones. Was Andy Foster the head of the CSAC? Basically came out and said like he believed Jones.
Oh,
So like
man.
this depending on what USADA comes up with, like if they give him a year, 18 months or whatever, it's a slap on the wrist. But
Do you think Dana's done with him now? Do you think we see him again?
Yeah. Are you kidding me? They need money. John Jones is money.
That is true.
They will put up with all types of shit if you make money for them.
Oh yeah, because they're probably about to bring Brock back. So.
Dude, Brock has to fight somebody, right?
Yeah.
So,
yep.
but real quick, I'd
They're
like
both
to
gonna
point
stay.
out that there is such like Tim Means and Yoel Romero when they went to court, when they went to like trial over this, they came in with like several different like pieces of evidence. They came in with like they had their stuff tested by USADA, like independently tested, showing that the supplements that they took had the drugs that they tested positive for in them, which is why they got such a slap on the wrist. Like I think so it was they mostly just got like suspended for negligence more than like nefariousness, I guess.
Right.
Jones didn't do any of that. Like I think he said he tested 7 of the supplements he took, and they asked him if he had taken more, and he was they asked him if he tested all of them. He was like, no. I want to say that's what happened.
Yeah, man. This is I hope some young up and comers are watching and paying close attention. This is a good tutorial on what not to do.
It is a good tutorial on if you make money, it doesn't matter what you do. Like, I knew athletic commissions were a joke when Floyd Mayweather basically went in front of them and told them that he was smoking fake weed to look cool on TV.
That just.
I mean, that was a
Oh
Nevada
Lord.
commission, but still, like, come on.
Crazy times, man. I don't even know what to say about Jones anymore. That is it is what it is. It's not much else to really dig into. It's John Jones gonna John
Wait,
Jones.
Francisco Rivera. I'm reading this article about it. I did not know this. Francisco Rivera forged bank statement.
What?
They forged apparently Cisco forced his forged bank statements and other evidence when he got caught with drugs. So
I mean, everybody's trying their own little scheme out here. I
he
don't
got the
know.
4-year ban. So oh well.
He tried. They tried.
Was there anything else? No, we're good.
Yeah, I think that was about it. All the wildness going on. Apologize for the noise in the background. I have Super Fight League going in the background. I had to mute it. But, so yeah, that's pretty much it for like news and everything. So before we get to the UFC though, there were some other fights that went down. So I guess first, man, we'll start off with boxing.
Heavyweights.
So yeah, man, Deontay Wilder and oh god,
Luis Ortiz from Cuba.
Yeah. So since my internet was kind of spotty, I'll let you go first on this fight because I had to rewatch this morning because in real time my internet was not cooperating with me.
So while I guess I'll set up. Wilder has been criticized for the vast majority of his career, for fighting shit competition like cab drivers, like actual cab drivers, like dudes who were riding the Uber like the day before to make money and then like showed up at weigh-ins, like that type of deal. So like Luis Ortiz, who comes from like the Cuban system of boxing, I think he was Olympian. He was either Olympian or someone who's fought at like that level of amateur boxing. Who basically has barnstormed most of the heavyweight divisions since becoming a pro. Was like seen as his toughest test to date. And Ortiz did great. Got off to an early lead. I know the judges had Wilder up at the end of the fight. I have no idea how. I had Ortiz taking like the first 4 rounds. Wilder catches him with I want to say like a right, like a bombshell of a right hand in the 5th and drops him. Ortiz gets up, manages to survive, comes back in the 7th, rocks the ever-living crap out of like Wilder. Side note, Ortiz is like 230, 240 pounds. Wilder's like 214. He is a small heavyweight. So like seeing in terms of like mass, not in terms of height, because he's ridiculously long. But Ortiz was basically teeing off on him for the entire last minute of the 7th round. And for like a majority of like the 8th and the 9th, like he was beating the crap out of him. And shouts to Wilder because he took it all and did not go down, like at all. 10th round opens up. Ortiz is visibly tired. He's a 40-year-old man, or he's about to be 39 in a couple weeks. Wilder cracks him with the right, they both connect. That's what it was. They both connect on right hands. Wilder, it sends them both into the ropes. Wilder bounces off the ropes and just like starts machine gunning punches, basically. Cracks Ortiz with the uppercut. He goes down. He gets up. He's on wobbly legs. Wilder proceeds to just beat the crap out of him until he goes down again. The ref calls it off. So 10th round knockout victory for Wilder. Basically, as close to his Joshua Klitschko moment as he's going to get.
Yeah, if I pulled anything from that fight, I didn't really have a dog in the fight either. I wasn't really rooting for anybody. I was kind of watching to just watch. But I thought it was cool to see like Wilder get, cause like you said, when he was getting teed off on, like he was getting teed off on. Like I was impressed that he did not fall like at all, cause it looked like that could have been over. Like anybody else probably would have been done. But yeah, I thought it was cool just to see him come back from like some real adversity, like. And all the times I've seen him fight, that's like the first real fight I've seen him in, where like he was legit in trouble. And yeah, like I had him down on the scorecards. Like he definitely lost like the first four he definitely lost. He probably won the fifth, and then he probably dropped the next couple. So like it was a do or die like moment. Like if he doesn't get that knockout, he probably loses that fight if it goes.
Well, no, he
12.
was up on the cards.
Really?
You get the A side benefit, bro. I guess they had him splitting the early rounds, even though I thought he lost them pretty clearly.
Because I thought he clearly lost the first four. Because like the beginning of this fight was was kind of not a lot going on.
Left hook.
And,
that's what it was. Huh.
Yeah, because like the first 4 rounds was kind of them just kind of like feeling each other out. But like Wilder didn't have like much of any kind of offense.
This is the night for the guys who win or who are losing until they win. When we get to Brian Ortega later, but like that's just how Wilder fights. Like it's very rare for him to go out there and control the fight from the opening bell. Like he will. What was this, the Gerald Washington fight, where he lost 4 rounds to Gerald Washington before just cracking him and the fight's instantly over. The Polish dude, Artur Svilka, I think his name is. Like I had Svilka up on the cards before Wilder knocked him out in the 9th or 10th or 11th. That fight was so long. Dang it. Here we go. Yeah, like Wilder's strength as a boxer comes from just his ability to draw guys into a firefight, basically. Like he drew Ortiz into a firefight. And we've now seen that he's tough enough to survive one, and obviously the dude is quite possibly the biggest puncher in like combat sports right now.
Yeah, for all of the lack of technique or like finesse, dude hits like nobody's business. Like some of them right hands, when he cocks that right, like that straight, it's brutal.
Yeah,
it is so brutal. But so I mean, I guess now the only fight anybody else would even care to see, I guess we have to do him and Joshua now. Like that has to be.
Dude, they got 60 fights between them and 59 knockouts.
Right. Well, does Joshua have? He has a fight.
He's going to be fighting in 3 weeks against Joseph Parker.
All right, so Joshua, go in there, handle that business.
Dude, like there's never been a fight like that where both guys have knocked out every person they've ever fought. I mean, watch the Joshua Parker fight go to decision now, but like, how crazy is that? And maybe that's a testament to how bad this era of heavyweight is. But like, still, that's a huge fight.
Yeah, that's something you can easily get people hyped for. You can throw that stat out there, and I mean, I feel like it's not the pressure's on Joshua because like that's the fight in the wing that everybody's waiting to see. So yeah, he's got to go out there and win his next fight, and probably in emphatic fashion.
Yeah, dude, that's where the money is, man.
Yeah, because I think that's a big. I mean, it's not going to be like Canelo and
I mean, it'll do huge ass numbers in the UK.
Yeah, it'll do good numbers.
Like that's a pay-per-view fight here. I know they probably won't crack like 300,000, but like if you can't get people to turn out for that, what can you actually do as a promoter?
I think just due to the fact that like we haven't. I mean, aside from like the heavyweight, like that used to be like the cream of the crop. We haven't had like a heavyweight fight we've been super excited about. I mean, you had Joshua Klitschko actually, which was awesome, but like the heavyweight fights like that of that magnitude just don't seem to come around that often. So I think they can get people to buy into it just off of that hype. Like this will be, we don't get these kind of fights anymore. Like
Yeah.
So, but
real quick, like I see a lot of people like shitting on like Wilder's performance here, but like you fight to your strengths. Wilder is not a boxer; he's a puncher.
Right.
Like it doesn't matter if he looks like crap for 9 rounds or gets dropped or gets rocked really hard. Like if he's tough enough to deal with that and he is quick enough, has like good enough timing to like make it count, it's still quality. You feel me?
I mean, he only needs one. Like if he catches you with that right down the middle, and he lands that on anybody flush, you're getting out of here. So, and I mean, for anything, because like I like watching Wilder's fights. I get it, the technique isn't pretty, but he's just entertaining. Like I watch him because I know at some point the fight is gonna get fun. This one took a little bit. First couple rounds were kind of but I know eventually I'm gonna get one of those moments where he's gonna crack somebody. So,
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's why you watch. You're waiting for that one moment. And
let Parker go out there and knock out Joshua.
It's just ruin the whole.
He kills boxing.
Especially if it's like first round KO, like straight flatline, no even chance to get up for the count. Oh man, yeah, Joshua, you gotta go do work out there, man. Your entire sport is probably depending on you.
So shouts to Ortiz because that was a tremendous performance from him.
Yeah, like it was a really good fight from him. Like
if he didn't empty the gas tank in like the 7th, 8th, and 9th round trying to stop Wilder, he might have actually got him out of there.
All right. And I mean his game plan was working. It's just Wilder, man. That dude is.
He hits hard enough that you have to fight him perfect or get him out of there.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So yeah, no shame on that loss. But yeah, it was a pretty entertaining fight. I had to watch it again this morning because I couldn't really watch it last night. But yeah, shout outs to both of them. That was I call it a 5-round fight because the first 4 rounds was just kind of then it kind of picked up later. But
it's only been like 2 months and like 3 days into the year, and we've got like at least 5 fights that are fight of the year contenders.
I was actually just thinking that the other day. I need to start taking notes now, so at the end of the year, I won't have to do all this crazy research about what fights were fight of the year. I need to start writing these down. But yeah, man, that was awesome. Two heavyweights just kind of throwing down. So shout outs to both gentlemen. Congrats to Wilder and Joshua. We're depending on you. I guess real quick before we get to UFC, we can just kind of breeze through. Bellator had a card. Bellator 195 went down on the 2nd. Also headlined by Darian Caldwell and Leandro Higo. That was the only fight I got a chance to watch from this card. Not really a ton happened. They stood on the feet for a little bit. Caldwell, I think, threw a left, took him down. Hidro got up for a quick second, then he got tossed back to the floor, and then he got choked out.
Yep.
And that was it.
And then Caldwell got on the mic, cursed out basically everybody in the bantamweight division and the 2 Pitbull brothers.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, so because the Pitbulls were in Higo's corner.
Oh. Hey man, we talk about Bellator fun fights. I don't know.
There you go.
Versus Pitbull. I mean, if we're throwing John Fitch in there, and did you see the alleged Chuck Liddell?
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
So, yeah, we forgot to talk about that. That's a whole nother podcast, man. So yeah, quick side note.
Who are too good to watch a 50-year-old man die in the cage? What's wrong with you?
allegedly Chuck Liddell is signing a multi-million-dollar contract with Bellator or something like that. So
I got
that's
ESPN on the background here. Sorry to interrupt, and Deontay Wilder's on it. Not speaking or anything, but they're running his like highlight reel. Oh, and here's O'Malley.
O'Malley's on ESPN.
Yeah.
Oh man.
They only showed the part where he broke his foot.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I guess quickly just running through the rest of this Bellator card. So Caldwell defended his title and won by submission. Joe Taminglo won a split decision over Joe Warren. Christina Williams won a split decision over Emily Ducote. And Juan Archuleta won a decision over William Joplin. So that was Bellator. Glory also had a card this weekend. The only fight that I got a chance to watch was Badr Hari and what's the guy's name? Jurgis, I believe. They had actually a pretty nice 3-round scrap. It was actually pretty entertaining fight. He took it to Hari though. Like he definitely made him work for the win, but that was a pretty good fight. Cedric Doumbé dropped a split decision actually, which I need to go back and watch. There's somebody else I'm forgetting. Somebody else got head kicked. Oh yeah, Tajani Basadi head kicked Annie Cabri into oblivion. You guys should go watch that. So shout out to Glory and LFA 34. Was this the lightweight title? I want to say. Robert Watley beat Brandon Jenkins. Doesn't say how. Did he?
Decision.
No, decision. Okay. So shout outs to him. Shout outs to LFA. Got to go back and watch that also. So those are pretty much all the fights. Other fights from other organizations. Well, KSW had a card, but probably won't have really time to get to that. But there were a lot of fights this weekend, basically. So that was a quick little rundown, and we'll just go on to the main course. UFC 222 went down yesterday in Nevada. I had a lot of emotions throughout this card. I spent a lot of this card kind of angry. There was a lot on this card that kind of bothered me, but it got better towards the end. But like, it was some of this card that was pissing me off. But I guess starting with the main event, which didn't piss me off. It was not really a high point. Kind of expected it to happen. But Chris Cyborg, Yana Kunitskaya. There's not a ton to talk about about this fight. Other than, I mean, Yana got a takedown, and Joe Rogan almost had a conniption about her just get. You know what? That was, and all right, I'll side tangent. I think that was part of what was. I don't know what it was about this card last night. There was something about Rogan that was just annoying me and I normally he normally doesn't really bother me. There are little things he does here and there that I don't really care for, but like most of the time he doesn't really bother me. There was something about him last night that seemed to piss me off every fight. And I don't know what it was. Maybe I was just in a bad mood. But yeah, he had a full-blown conniption when Yana got a takedown, but I get it. Anybody who does anything remotely good against Cyborg is like a moral victory, so you just tend to overreact. But yeah, she got a takedown. She did some clinch work. Once Cyborg got out the clinch, that was a wrap. Every time Cyborg landed, you could tell Yana just felt the fear of God. Yeah, she landed a right hand. Ended up just crumpling poor Yana, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was Cyborg gonna Cyborg.
Yeah. So the most interesting part of this fight to me was that apparently Chris Cyborg has been coming out to Kirk Franklin for years, and I just never noticed.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Did not either.
Brother.
And like she was full blown, like she was singing the entire song during the walkout. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, but
Brother, can't you see? I've got the victory. Yeah. Stomp.
Out here doing the Lord's work in her own special way.
Beating up
sending
beating up Russian girls.
Yeah, sending them more angels. So I guess heaven needs more population.
Yeah.
So.
Just
Yeah,
Yana, who basically got the most meaningful offense that someone's gotten on Cyborg in a while. When she took her back for like half a second.
Right.
Uh,
So
I don't.
did she that initial sequence, like when it first started, because she ate a right hand in the body shot? Did she go for a takedown or did she crumple from the body shot and just happen to go for a
Yes.
leg? Because everybody was like losing their mind as she went for the takedown. I was like, I think she was dying.
Yeah, no,
and
she
just
got hit, realized it was really hard, went down, saw her leg, and was less like, "This is my only way. I'm not going to die instantly."
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It was a Cyborg fight.
And then she called out Amanda Nunes.
All right, I'm gonna be that guy. Everyone will disagree with me. I don't want to see that fight anymore. I don't care to see that fight anymore.
I want to see that fight just so the UFC has time to do other things while they're fighting each other.
I get.
What would you prefer to that fight? I guess
I want to see Megan Anderson, and I don't care that she's green anymore. I just want to see her fight a featherweight. I think I'm at that point now. I don't want to see this bantamweight experience anymore. It's not fun. I mean, Megan Anderson probably won't be fun either.
I mean, it'll be a fun assault.
I don't know.
Like a train.
And it's not Cyborg's fault that he just demolishes every single person. But I think I'm over this whole bantamweight experiment. Just I just want to see her fight a true featherweight. I know it probably won't make much of a difference, but Megan's a big 45er. She's really strong. She's always game. I think I just want to see that fight now. I want to see Cyborg fight somebody who's actually like in her weight class. Let Nunes. I mean, and then if she bodies Megan, and then they still want to do the Nunes fight, I won't complain. But I don't know. This bantamweight thing isn't doing it.
I would be fine with it if Megan had a fight in the UFC, or like in the past year, because she hasn't fought since she beat Charmaine Tweet, right?
Yeah, I think that was her last fight.
That was 2016, or at least early 2017, I think. Hold on, Megan Anderson. Like, she hasn't been hurt. She's just been. I think she was initially hurt, but yeah, it's been over a year since she's fought. Being my point, so like I'd really just like to see her get a fight before she goes to fight Cyborg.
So I think the thing is, if they give her another fight, like who else are they gonna
sign? Somebody.
Yeah, you gotta just sign a random person to base. And I feel like if you're the UFC, if you give Megan the tune-up fight, you don't want her to lose.
Give her run back the freaking Charmaine Tweet fight. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed. It's almost not even fun anymore just watching Cyborg just beat on people. And like I said, she'll probably beat on Megan, but at least Megan's in her weight class. So I don't know. Maybe the fight will drag out a little longer. I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, if they do her and Nunes, I'm not mad at that either. Nunes is always game, and I'm pretty sure it'll be a fun stand-up fight. They both throw really heavy. Cyborg probably throws a lot harder though, but I'm game to watch it. But I don't know. The Cyborg experience is just I don't know.
It wouldn't surprise me if they try to put Cyborg on that Brazil card with her.
When is that?
May 24th.
I mean, you might as well. She virtually took no damage.
Wait, no, not May 24th. Like May 3rd or something. I don't know.
I'm good. The only damage she got was a back take. And maybe like a couple knees in the clinch.
Yeah, like the hardest part of this fight for Cyborg was getting down to 145 on like 4 weeks' notice.
All right. But I mean, shout outs to Yana though. I mean, you go in there with Cyborg. That's never easy out. She did the best you can do. Like I can't. I'm not gonna fault her or talk bad about her. Like she did the best you can do against Cyborg up until you get caught. Really, that's all you can say about like any of Cyborg's opponents. Like and I think that's kind of what makes I would say makes Holly's performance kind of impressive, where she ate a lot of shots and she even managed to just go the distance. So I mean, when you're fighting Cyborg, you got to take the little moral victories as you can get.
Right.
So it is what it is. But Cyborg's still the champ. Probably not changing anytime soon. But yeah, we'll see what happens with her. Co-main event though. This was my personal main event. This was the fight that I was most looking forward to, and this was the fight that lifted my spirits because this card was just doing a good job of just pissing me off all night. Brian Ortega, Frankie Edgar. Ortega's, I think I've said this before about him. He's one of those guys I love watching him fight, but the thing that always worries me about him is he tends to be a slow starter, and kind of like you said earlier, he's losing until he's winning. And part of me was afraid that against Frankie, that wouldn't be a good, it's not a guy you really want to get behind on, especially in a 3-round fight. You could quickly drop a decision. But Ortega did not need 3 rounds. He only needed 1. And he did not win by submission like I envisioned. He sent Frankie Edgar into orbit. But, I mean, no slight to Frankie at all. The beginnings of this fight kind of went how I thought it would go, with Frankie just kind of boxing him up from the outside, getting in, getting out, working angles. Ortega just trying to find the groove of an offense, but Frankie's just kind of just getting off punches. He's doing what Frankie normally does to everybody. But then it did occur to me, kind of like 30, 40 seconds into the fight, is normally with Frankie fights, he'll touch you up on the feet, but he's brilliant at going from striking to transition into his grappling. But I'm like, he's not gonna grapple with Ortega. Or I mean, he could, but it's probably not a good idea. Because you leave your neck out for 2 seconds, it's getting yanked. You leave anything out for 2 seconds, he's snagging something, he's taking it home. So I was wondering, like, if Ortega just needs to catch him one good time, and this could be over. Because Frankie's not going to take this to the ground. Or if he could, he's going to put himself in danger. And, yeah, Ortega needed 1 split second. I know everybody wants to talk about the uppercut, and it was vicious. It literally lifted Frankie off his feet. But that elbow.
Yeah, that's the fight under right there.
Woo, that elbow was mean. Boy, I did not see. And when it happened in real time, I didn't even know what he landed. Like, I just saw him flick his arm out, and then Frankie just stumbled. Had no idea what he even hit him with. But yeah, that elbow was vicious, and he stuns him. Did he throw a head kick?
He threw a head kick right after that.
Yeah.
Frankie kind of blocked, but he kind of ate, so.
Yeah. Like, partially hit him, but he was still, like, completely disoriented from that elbow. And then when they got into the clinch, and them uppercuts started flying, and I never thought I would see the day. I mean, we've seen Frankie get, like, battered, obviously, like the Maynard fights. Even in the Aldo fight, but we've never seen Frankie just get flat out, like, you're done KO. Like, as soon as that uppercut landed and Frankie's feet left the floor, I knew it was over. And then he ate 2 ground and pound shots, and that was it. And I saw people complaining about the stoppage because we've seen Frankie come back from some wild stuff.
Really? There were people complaining?
Yeah. I saw a few people. But the difference is between this and, like, the Maynard fight, and I've argued with this in the Maynard fight about people who said that they thought the fight should be stopped. If you go back and watch the Maynard fight, all of them, as much as he was getting rocked and rolling around the cage, he was still moving. He still seemed like he kind of knew what was going on. Albeit he was in survival mode, he was still somewhat cognizant of what was happening. And he was trying to get out the way, or he was there still. He was just kind of on skates the whole time. This fight, he was not there. There was no... The only movement was him being lifted off of the ground from an uppercut. There was no comeback from this. Like, that was it. I was out. and I'm sticking to this that Ortega will be champ by the end of the year. I've been saying this for many episodes now, and I'm sticking to it. This kid is the real deal, man. Like, it still makes me nervous about how he's always losing until he's winning, but on the same token, it seems like when his competition gets tougher, he still rises up and he's getting finishes. Like, he's getting guys out of there. So, yeah, man, really, really impressed with the Ortega fight. That dude is that dude's awesome, man. Like, to get a win like this is that's a big deal. That's a name on your resume, and you stopped him. Like, you stopped him dead in his tracks and got him out of there. So, I mean, yeah, all the props in the world to Ortega. But props to Frankie too for even like taking this fight, because he could have sat back and just waited for a title shot. This was a dangerous fight for him to take, and he still went out there to put on the show. And I mean, like I said, up until the finish, he had a good performance. He was doing what Frankie normally does. But Ortega, man, Ortega's that dude. He is that dude right now.
Yeah. He did a really good job of forcing the fight on the, like, not forcing the fight, like forcing the distance closer. Like you're saying, he was Edgar, especially early, was in and out, in and out, in and out. But like you could see Ortega, he would triple up on the jab. He would throw a combination that came up short, but you could see him like just inching closer to Edgar with his feet. Like the finishing sequence came because Edgar was trying to leap in for a hook. Not even leap in, he was just throwing a hook. Like from pretty close range, not even mid range, like close range, and Ortega just beat him to it with that elbow. I think Ortega just didn't respect Edgar's power. Like, he got caught with that one overhand right over the shoulder, and from that moment on, he was just not full on, John Lineker, Jessica Andrade-esque march mode, but he got more aggressive. He stopped backing up. Anytime he did get back up, he got back to the center of the cage. He got more aggressive with the kicks, and Edgar even tried to turn one into a takedown. Ortega just grabbed his neck, like, instantly, and got Frankie the bail on it. The sequence of the uppercut, I really liked it because he was bridging with the one arm, and literally just pushes off on Edgar, who has his arm on his shoulder, and delivers the uppercut. So that was really nice. Yeah, no, like Ortega is like, there's so much star potential in him. This is his 7th fight in the UFC. The 7th one he's finished. He's finishing guys faster. Edgar's the best opponent he's ever fought, and this is the fastest he's won a fight in the UFC. I guess you can count Mike De La Torre, but that fight that fight never happened, according to the California State Athletic Commission. Like, I don't know how a fight with him and Max Holloway goes, because the whole thing. I picked Edgar in this fight because, unlike Cub Swanson, Edgar doesn't have those lapses in judgment in fights. He always fights the perfect fight for Edgar. You don't beat. Jose Aldo did not beat Frankie Edgar by capitalizing on, like, moments of weakness. He beat him by beating him at basically at every moment of the fight. Like, you have to beat. If he was shooting for a takedown, he'd block it, and if he tried to come in, he would jab with him. Like, beating him in a single moment is just ridiculous. Like, I don't get how Ortega's game works in terms of, like, how this man has managed to go through so much quality competition, because, again, like, he went from Mike De La Torre to Thiago Tavares to Diego Brandao to Clay Guida to Renato Moicano to Cub Swanson to Frankie Edgar. Like, that's a quality lineup, especially from, like, debut to, like, 7th fight. I don't know how a fight between him Holloway turns out. But it's now like at the top of my list for title fights I want to see.
Yeah, whatever pay-per-view that fight lands on, they might get me to cough up $60.
Holloway was tweeting that he wants to fight on the International Fight Week card. So he wants to fight in the co-main event of Cormier Stipe, which I'd be down for.
Hey man, get a man what he wants. Like
225 still needs a main event though. The Chicago card.
Well, whatever card they throw him on, I'm in there. Yeah, and that headline might give me
they have something really special in Ortega. I'm not sure if we mentioned this, but like this is the first time Frankie Edgar's ever been stopped.
Right.
So,
like that alone is wild. So we'll see if the machine gets behind him. You could only hope. And I saw I didn't research it, but I'm pretty sure it's true. Interesting stat on this card. A lot of the people who got a lot of the big wins tonight, all in the 20s.
Oh yeah, dude, this it was a good weekend for like the young new faces of MMA. Over in Bellator, you got Caldwell, and I know Caldwell's like 30, but like this should be his prime. And that Bellator bantamweight division has been pretty stagnant for years now. And then Christina Williams and Joe Domingo beating up an old stalwart in the UFC. You have Brian Ortega, Alexander Hernandez, who we'll get to, Mackenzie Dern, who we'll get to, Cody Stamen, who we'll get to, Ketlin Vieira, who we'll get to soon. But like, this could turn out to be like a really big deal for them, like moving forward, like this card.
Yeah, because a lot of these names.
O'Malley, sure, of course. So.
Oh yeah, you know the machines. You know the machines behind him. But yeah, like a lot of these young fighters, these are probably people we'll be seeing on main cards for a while. Like as long as they can stay on their like trajectory. Right. But yeah, man, the next generation is coming up. I know Father Time is undefeated, but Frankie was just one of those guys I assume would just kind of at least linger around the top forever. I mean, he's still going to be at the top after this, not, you know.
I mean, we're not that far removed from him beating the crap out of Jeremy Stevens and Jair Rodriguez. So
yeah, so it's not like Ortega like knocked Frankie like he's just out of here, like he's never going to win a fight again. But that these next crop of fighters are, you know, they're making their way up there, man. So it's good to see that next crop of young guys and women alike, you know, making their climbs up. So awesome win for Ortega. What would you like to see from Frankie next?
For Frankie, like do you stick around and try to angle your way into another title shot? Because who does Frankie fight? Like Ricardo Lamas? Because I think that's the only dude in the top like 5 that he hasn't fought, besides Holloway. Oh yeah, Lamas got knocked off the top 5, so like he's already beaten Cub and Stevens. Emmett's coming off a loss. Lamas is coming off a loss. Who knows when we'll see the Korean Zombie again? Do you give him the Elkins fight? Do you...
Hey, I'm not mad at that actually. I'm not mad at it. I mean, I get it. He's coming off a loss, but
do you try to have like the winner of like another fight, like the fight between Qatar and Moicano fight Edgar? Try to get another title contender out of that, or a rebound fight and Edgar gets the winner of Ortega Holloway.
I like the Elkins fight.
Yeah.
I kind of like that fight. I don't think they'll do it, but I'm not opposed to that.
Or do you do the Jeremy Stevens rematch? Like, I personally, I'd like. I know it's not going to happen, but I'd like to see him at bantamweight.
That would be interesting. Those would be some interesting matchups down there for him if he decided
like
to.
Edgar versus Cruz, Edgar versus Garbrandt, Edgar versus Rivera. He probably wouldn't fight Marlon Moraes, but
Edgar Cruz would be
Yeah.
good. We'll see. I think he's got options. Like it's not like his career is over after this. Like obviously it's a tough loss, but I think he's got options for when he comes back. I feel like he'll probably stick
note,
around it.
Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
If you were somebody who had never seen MMA before, and you were like told by somebody that one of these dudes was the champion a division up, who would you have picked?
Man, I didn't realize how big Ortega was,
Right.
or maybe just how small Frankie is. Like Ortega looks like he could easily be a 155.
Right? It's crazy.
Like you just look at his frame, and he's thick.
Like Edgar was small when he was a lightweight champion, but like that division's gotten huge.
Oh man, yeah, that's a big boy at 45. He could easily probably go to 55 and give a lot of people up there a run for their money. Like, but man, yeah, we'll see. Frankie's got some interesting options. I would like the Elkins fight just because, but I think the bantamweight move wouldn't be bad either. Like a lot of fresh life, new division, and obviously you get to like the top 5 in that division, and all those fights for Frankie would be awesome to see.
Right.
I wouldn't mind seeing Frankie in a Sunshine.
Hey, there's an idea.
That's throwing that out there. But we'll see. But great win from Ortega. Awesome KO. Yeah, man. The star has been born. And speaking of stars and the machine of the UFC trying to give us another one. Sean O'Malley, Andre Sukum. This was the height of me being angry. It was this fight. This was the height of me just.
Did you? Was it because you picked Sukentov?
No, not even that. It wasn't even the pick. It was that whole third round. I just wanted to flip the computer screen. I didn't. And it's not even like hate against O'Malley. Like it's not like I even dislike O'Malley. I did think Sukentov was gonna pull this out. Obviously after the first 2 rounds, I was like, all right, I kind of see where this is going. And, all right, so we'll just run it back from the top. So Sean O'Malley comes in, obviously a lot of hype. I mean, and well deserved. He's a very entertaining fighter, very very flashy striker, really talented dude.
He smokes weed with Snoop Dogg.
Right. he's got a lot going for him. Coming off that win over, was it Terrion Ware, I think, was his...
Yeah.
Yeah, so coming off of that, and then also off of, was it Contender Series or Ultimate Fighter?
Contender Series.
Contender Series, yeah. So, he's been having a lot of good showings as of late. And Sukentov coming off that win over Luke Sanders. So I was pretty, interested to see how this fight would play out. O'Malley for the first 2 rounds, just kind of giving him that work. Very diverse striker, to say the least. Kicks, punches. He did a sequence that was like a spinning back fist to a head kick. Just working a lot of angles. Just kind of just picking Sukentov apart. Yeah, I thought he did a good job from a lot of this fight. I feel like the fight was on his terms. Like Sukentov couldn't find a groove, and O'Malley was just literally doing whatever he wanted. In terms of striking. And then the third round comes, and I think O'Malley threw a question mark kick. Was that it? Am I thinking another fight? Okay, yeah. He threw a question mark kick that got blocked with some weird funky way. I don't know, maybe if he just hit an elbow or something happened. And this man's foot just gave out. And so... And anybody watching this fight, like you're watching Sukentov, because he got dropped. I can't remember the first or the second. Might have been the first. I think he got dropped in the first because he was wobbly, like at the end of the first. He was stumbling back to his corner. I can't remember what he got dropped with, but basically O'Malley was just kind of tooling him. So third round gets here, and it's pretty much a do or die. Like you need a finish. You're clearly losing this fight. So third round comes. O'Malley has this foot injury. I guess he broke his foot. He literally cannot stand on his foot. Like, his foot gave out. There was even a point where, like, he stood back up, and the foot that was broken, he just lifted it off the ground because he couldn't put any pressure on it. Like, he was hopping on one foot. And Sukumta, I'm not a fighter. It's easy for me to say what I would do sitting home on the couch. But I would like to think if I see somebody with a broken foot, I'm kicking that foot until you just can't walk anymore. Sukumta, on the other hand, he had different ideas. He's going for takedowns. Now, I'm trying to make sense of what he's doing. I'm trying to rationalize it in my head. And the more I rationalize it, the more I just got pissed off. And it's just, it was so frustrating watching this third round. It's like, dude, you've been getting tooled pretty much this entire fight. This is your time to come back and get the win. And this man is clearly injured. He's like in agony, visually in pain. And instead of making him stand up on that broken foot and just kicking it until he can't fight anymore, you just go for takedowns. And you almost get triangled at one point from a broken foot. What did that happen before? I can't remember.
That
Either
was the
way,
second round.
Whatever. Okay, that was second. Either way, you're going for takedowns against a guy with a broken foot. Didn't he get sweeped and like guillotined, or was that the second round too, or almost guillotined? I don't remember. Either way, the third round pissed me off because Sukumta's strategy just didn't. It blew my mind. It didn't make any sense.
Just throwing this out there. Because I rewatched the whole fight this morning. Andre got rocked like twice after O'Malley broke his leg. So that probably had a lot to do with it. Like he actually hurt him twice on the with one leg.
Out there on his Michael Chandler. But yeah, man. So after that disastrous third round, strategy wise, of course he loses the decision. Rogan interviews O'Malley while he's laying on his back because he just couldn't get up to even, like, when they announced the decision that he won, he's celebrating on the floor while he's screaming in pain, and Rogan kneels next to him to do the post fight. So that was fun. That was that was so Rogan. But I mean, shout outs to O'Malley. Like, that's a really really great win, and gutsy win in the third, considering your foot's like hanging off, and he gutted it out. That was a real, that fight could have easily went the other way and turned south really quick, but he gutted it out. He put on, I think, the performance that people were hoping to see from him, and I'm pretty sure the machine, they're definitely gonna get behind this guy. I mean, and I can see why though. He's exciting. He puts on fun fights. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy who's gonna give you a boring outing. So we'll be seeing a lot more of O'Malley in the future. I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah. So I don't find O'Malley the character / person like all that compelling. Like Joe Rogan was like, yeah, you hang on every word he says. I'm like, dude, he's just a stoner white boy. Like, but like you walk on any college campus in America, you could find a Sean O'Malley. But as a fighter, the dude's obviously pretty special in terms of just like potential and upside and where he's at even now, because the dude has an understanding of range and timing and like rhythm and feinting and moving and stance switching that like a dude who is let me double check, yeah, not even barely even 3 years into his pro career should have. Like, this dude started fighting pro in 2015, and yeah, I know he fought amateur, but like even then, like, you don't build that skill set necessarily over in your amateur career. Like, right. We've seen guys and gals come in off with like a bunch of amateur fights and just like they were basically sparring sessions where they just beat the crap out of the other person because the other person's a hobbyist. But like O'Malley seems to have a natural feel for fighting. Like it's the type of thing where like crap, who's another person? Like Francis Ngannou has a natural feel for fighting. Like they are just people who are naturally keyed in on like certain aspects of the game, and like you see that out in O'Malley. I think his shot selection could be a little better. I think he'd be a little less hittable, like a little bit more controlled. But like the dude is 23 years old. Yeah, that's all stuff that's just gonna come with time.
All right. I mean, and he's training out the lab,
Yeah,
so
like
you got surrounded by good, pretty great, good sparring partners, good coaches. Like he can only go up.
He probably would have finished Sukentov if it wasn't for breaking his leg. Like that. Yeah. I'm a little worried about that, just because it just seems like nowadays to be a real contender at 135, you gotta be able to finish some people, especially people who are like outclassing by a lot. And he did that, especially early. That first round was like 10-8, just brutal. I found actually kind of not funny, but yeah, funny that he broke his leg in the third round, because I thought he had broken the I thought he had shattered freaking Sugunta's knee in the first round when he kicked the back knee. And
yeah, because he dropped like twice.
Yeah, he both legs. He hit both legs, and he hit them inside kick to the back leg and inside kick to the front leg. And Zugutov couldn't walk after that for a minute. Like he was bouncing around on one leg.
Yeah, this kid, I'm not gonna say I'm I'm on the hype train, so to speak, but dude he's nasty though. He's I'm wondering how I don't want them to like fast track him, so I'm interested to see like what matchups they give him next.
They should give him Alejandro Perez. He was also beating Sukentov. He's not especially like dangerous guy, I guess. Where like you're gonna burn out your prospect getting him in a firefight that he didn't need to be in. He's coming off winning off of Sukentov himself, and he's got a win over Alcantara and Scott Jorgensen, Ian Entwistle. So I think it's a pretty solid fight for him.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope they kind of just slow track him, build him up. I mean, because as talented as he is, once you get to the top, top 10 in that division, it starts getting real. It definitely starts getting real. So I hope they don't rush him too fast. But he's definitely somebody to keep an eye on. Definitely living up to the hype so far. If he can keep schooling people like that, we'll be hearing from him for a while. He's gonna be sticking around, probably tooling people for a while now.
Of all the dudes to come off the Contender Series show, he's probably at the highest ceiling.
Yeah, like you said, like a lot of the way you just watch him fight, you would think he's been doing this for a long time, like. But at only 23, like it's almost kind of scary to see like where's he gonna be at when he's like 27.
Yeah.
Like when he's got years under his belt, and he's got some experience like this. He has a really, really high ceiling. But yeah, shout out to Sean O'Malley. Hopefully that foot heals. I'm not sure how long he'll end up being sidelined for. But hopefully we can see him back sometime soon. But I imagine he'll probably need time to heal up. But definitely looking forward to what he does next and who they match him up with. So we'll see. But congrats to Sean O'Malley. Great performance. Tooling if I've ever seen one. So shout outs to him. This next fight, I think you said you skipped this one off principle.
I skipped it to watch the good heavyweight fight.
Andrei Arlovski, Stefan Struve. It was a decent fight. Not anything crazy to write home about. I think Arlovski won just kind of being a bit more active. He caught Struve with a good amount of strikes. Definitely with the takedowns more than I thought he would. He took Struve down like two or three times, maybe even four. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's not a ton to write home about. I mean, impressive for Arlovski in the sense that, I mean, I think they mentioned this during the broadcast. Like a couple of years ago, this is a guy I didn't even think would be fighting anymore.
Last year.
Right.
Like last year, this dude was on like 5-fight losing streak.
And he's like this second stint of his career. I mean, it's had its ups and downs, but it's impressive that he's even still like he's still around and he's still putting on like solid performances and beating, still hanging with solid competition at almost 40 years of age. So like I say, yeah, not really a ton to go into detail about that fight. He won by decision. It's kind of outstruck Struve. Kind of was just the busier fighter, and the takedowns definitely worked in his favor. He was able to get a lot of those in. So shout out to Arlovski. He's still somebody I do root for. When I first started watching MMA, he was like one of my favorite heavyweights. So good to see he's still around. So shout out to Arlovski. He got a decision win over Struve. I think he's on a 2-fight win streak now. So, but yeah, that was pretty much the fight in a nutshell. Not too much really to talk about, but solid win for Arlovski. And rounding out the main card, we had Caitlin Vieira and Kat Zingano. What were your thoughts?
Bantamweight has progressed past the point where Kat Zingano is considered like a physical force, because this is the second fight in a row where she basically just got out, not like complete, like basically just out strengthed. Because like Juliana Pena put it on her with pace and like takedown ability, and Caitlin Vieira just kind of muscled her to the ground. Like the hip toss she hit in the second round was a thing of beauty. Like what I really take away from this is I wish Kat Zingano fought more. Like
Yeah, what was her last fight before this?
Yes.
Was it the Pena fight?
Almost 2 years ago.
Jesus.
She's been healthy. I'm sure she was hurt for a little bit, but like it's not like she's been on like Twitter and shit talking about like I want to fight, give me a fight. I really like Vera. I know she probably didn't make a whole ton of fans after like that fight where she basically coasted down the stretch. She spent long periods on top, not throwing ground and pound, kind of being ineffective at getting out of half guard or setting up that crucifix that she was really going for. But like she's only 3 years into her career. Like, she started in earnest in like October 2014. So like what, 3.5 years in, and she's already probably the number one contender. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's kind of like how in the moments when the fight wasn't going her way, because like Ngannou had moments where she just kind of like just throwing these really wild like strikes,
Right.
but like she connected on a lot of them, and I thought she was doing good with the kick she was doing, but it was like as soon as Ngannou kind of found any kind of rhythm and got something going, Vieira would just shut it down with a takedown, and that was just kind of the end of that. So yeah, not like the most. Yeah, this fight kind of made me angry too. I was just really happy to see Zingano fight again. And then like every time she got taken down, just like it keeps happening. Like every time I think she's about to get it going, she gets taken down, and like all her momentum just gets shifted the other way. So this fight kind of hurt, but good. It was a good win on Vieira's part. Like when the fight wasn't going her way, she found a way to switch it around in her favor. And like you said, just kind of grinded her way out to a 3 or a decision. Though I would have on her end, because like as much as she was getting the takedowns, I felt like she could have maybe done a bit more damage. Because a lot of it was just control, but not a ton of her really like dishing out a lot of punishment. But a win is a win. A lot of split decisions on this card.
Adelaide Burr was on it.
Oh yeah. They gave her a little roast in the commentary. Yeah. So that was the main card. I mean, the main card was pretty awesome. I mean, the Struve-Arlovsky fight was kind of but I mean, most of these fights I was entertained somewhat, even if they got me angry.
Like, what? Like, if Vera Zingano was just a random fight between two like middling, not even, or low ranked like women's bantamweights, like we'd probably be ragging on it more. But it actually had like implications because Zingano has beaten Nunes and Vieira's this hot shot new prospect who was 3-0 in the UFC, is now 4-0.
Right.
I'd like to see Vieira versus Renault. So put that on the Brazil card.
I'm down for that. I'm rooting for Renault,
Yeah.
But nah. Main card was pretty. It progressively got better.
Except
once it hit the O'Malley fight, it just kind of went full
Yeah.
stride. So we had to warm up to that. But that was the main card. So we'll get on down to the prelims. Feature prelims.
Oof.
Mackenzie Dern, Ashley Yoder. How did you score this fight?
I gave it 2-1 for Dern, but Dern was also supposed to come out here and like this was her showcase fight, so it's probably not a good look that she fought the probably one of the 5 worst like fighters in the division and just scraped by. Well, not one of the worst fighters in the division, but like one of the least accomplished. It's like she was 0-2 going into this fight, Ashley Yoder.
Yeah, I'm not. I think I gave it to Yoder. I can't remember. I remember having a feeling that I thought Yoder was gonna get the nod, but then I kind of wasn't surprised because, But yeah, Yoder Yoder did work, and I think the reason I would say Yoder probably lost, I felt like a lot of this fight was Dern pushed a lot of the action, even though she ate a lot of left hands that she was not avoiding. That left hand was catching her every time. I think she got, was it the first or second?
She got dropped in the second, trying to close distance on a right hand, and Yoder countered right over the shoulder, right behind the ear,
and put her right down.
She got right back up though.
I think Dern just. I think what I did like from Dern though is as green as she still is. I don't really like how reckless she is. That definitely needs to be fixed. But I just kind of like that she's game.
Oh hell yeah.
I think a lot of other prospects maybe like they got rocked like that, they might have shelled up. She never like retreated. Like she got dropped, she got back up, and it was kind of like it never happened. Like she was still pushing forward.
I think
throwing these just
better. I'm sure the word technical is probably like I'm misusing that word here, but I think she got technically better, or at least smarter after she got dropped. Like we saw a lot less of the winging punches where she would like throw the right hand like 4 or 5 times in a row, and like just bum rush her like she was doing in the first round. Well, like the thing with Dern is like her striking's ugly, but like she hits really hard, and you can. It is so much easier to teach an aggressive fighter to cut back than to teach like a really patient fighter to be aggressive. Right. So, for like what her 6th fight in her career, 18 months in or whatever, like she's fine.
Yeah, the problems that she has, they're
coachable. She's apparently like more than her striking. I'm worried about her wrestling.
Yeah, because she was struggling to. She would just blitz and then go for the clinch and try to get a takedown from there, and Yoder was not having it. Like was not. I mean, and she got that one at the very end, and shot. Boy, did she harped on that when she got it.
Like that was a really good shot too.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll probably need some work. Like we all know how good she is on the ground, but just the object of getting someone down to the ground, which she definitely struggled with in this fight. But yeah, I mean she's still really green though. Like my I was excited to see her in the UFC, but my expectations for her aren't crazy high, just because of how new she still is.
Like,
So I'm kind of expecting her to have not like bad fights, but
she's gonna lose eventually.
yeah, like she's gonna take a loss eventually. She's gonna have that moment where she has to hit that learning curve because the competition is gonna rise, and
Like they threw her in the main event of a Fox, like on your Fox Sports 1 prelim. They're gonna I can't help but think they're gonna fast track her.
right, which probably isn't a good
Yeah,
idea.
and unlike O'Malley, like she's not. I can see her skill set being exploited pretty easily against an Angela Hill type.
Right.
Um,
But I mean, good on her though. It's like solid win. I think it was just good to see how just like game she was. I think that alone could get her some wins. Like she's just extra tenacious.
Yeah.
So she might just be able to just, I'm not gonna say bully her way into wins, but just that ferociousness I think can pay off for her. But yeah, obviously holes in her game that need to be tightened up. Good performance I thought from Yoda though. Like I said, that left hand was money. I don't think she was as active
right.
as I think she could have been. Because I think literally just a bit more volume, and she probably would have won this fight.
She probably would knock Dern out.
Right. Because she fought a really good fight. She was really patient, maybe to a fault. Because yeah, this fight easily could have swung her way, I think, if she just would have been a bit more active. But it was a really close fight. They both had moments. I think just Dern just won on pushing the pace a bit more. But I'm pretty sure we're definitely going to see Dern back. Man, for Yoder, is that how many losses is that in a row? 3. Oof. Yeah, I don't know.
People don't get cut from the UFC anymore, so.
Yeah, that is
She'll probably get one more.
Side note, I've been watching Super Fight League. They've been getting people out of here on this card. These last 3 fights have all been finishes.
Yeah. Like if you go to a decision in Super Fight League, you're doing something wrong.
So I can't shout out the person who won because I don't know his name. They don't have it at the bottom of the screen right now. But shout out to Super Fight League. The crowd looks like they're having an amazing time.
This one's not in the gymnasium.
Right, yeah, they're in like an official, somewhat official room. The crowd is really hype.
Dude, like Super Fight League's awesome. They'll play like dance music in the middle and just have a dance party, and the entire audience will hop in.
Dude, they are really happy in this crowd. Shout out to Super Fight League. But yeah, that was Mackenzie Dern and Ashley Yoder. This next fight, which did not last long at all, 42 seconds to be exact. Alexander Hernandez comes in on short notice, and he gets Beneil Dariush out of there. So when the fight initially started, a lot of people thought that first kick was kind of dirty. When I watched the replay, I don't think he was trying to touch.
Yeah, gloves. No, I actually watched it this morning. Yeah,
he kind of fights with that kind of like his stance is a bit wide and his arms are just kind of out like that. So yeah, in real time, I thought it was kind of cheap, but when I watched the replay, it's like I think he just fights like that. Like he wasn't trying to touch gloves. But yeah, Alexander Hernandez, he came in this fight on a mission. Like he came in to kill, and it was apparent from the very start. He did not waste any time. Like he came in really explosive, really aggressive. That finishing sequence, he was it a left? I think he clocked.
Yeah, it's just a step in left hand as Darius was trying to throw something.
Yeah, and he just cleaned him, and I think he landed a little bit of ground and pound that probably didn't even need to happen. But yeah, 42 seconds, Hernandez got Dariush out of there. It was a very quick and violent finish.
So I kind of feel like as soon as I said something last week, I felt like, okay, he's going to come in here and do something stupid and destroy Dariush. Because Hernandez was the dude I brought up last week when we were talking about, like, the UFC's bloated-ass roster. I'm like, why did they bring in this dude when they have 100 other lightweights? Can they really not find one that wants to fight Dariush? But he shut my ass up. Came in here, got the number 12 dude in the division out of here in, like you said, 42 seconds. Really interesting that he says, like, his main influence is TJ Dillashaw.
Yeah, he said that's like his idol.
Like, dude, like, that's weird to me. It feels like the timeline is shrinking in terms of, like, influence. Because this has been fighting for since what, 2012? Like, he's been fighting is almost as long as TJ Dillashaw.
But I mean, hey man,
I mean, get your it shows.
It's working. It's definitely working.
Dude, it's fast as hell.
Yeah.
Want to talk about stance switching? God.
Like I felt like Dariush just didn't even have a moment to breathe or get comfortable. Like he couldn't even like settle down into the fight. Like he just came out the gate blasting, and I didn't know he fought in LFA. Oh, he was on the Devin.
Yeah, he probably would have got a title shot had he not been signed.
Interesting note. I always, anytime I look at somebody's record and they're like 9-1, I go to look at the one person that beat him. So the one guy that beat him is actually not headlining, but well, I don't know if he's headlining, but he's fighting on LFA 36 at the end of this month, Jamal Emmers. So this is the one guy who managed to get past Hernandez.
Dude, you just got to hop on the microphone after he wins at LFA 36 and he'd be like, y'all sign that motherfucker and not sign me.
Oh man. Oh, this guy's 12-3. Oh, he's got a lot of finishes too. I might have to check this guy out.
Dariush. What's with his propensity to lose in just like the most violent fashion possible?
They're just I feel like every combat sport has at least one of those guys that like when they lose, they can't lose like a normal person. Like their losses have to be something just so extraordinary. Cause my God, he got blasted by that, and then he had the Dunham fight before that, but that was a draw. But the Barboza knee, yeah, they're just some guys, man. They just
Fabricio Verdum.
Their losses.
Shit. Who's that dude? Oleg something from like the early 2000s, who was in WC and just seemed to get like, he was just like on everybody's highlight reel. It was like Olaf or Oleg or, oh God.
I mean, at least, I can say at least, they're kind of bad. He's only got 4 losses, so it's not that bad. But it's just like when they do happen, it's like, ugh. Like they make you look away from the screen. Like it was. Ugh.
I mean, like the Ramsey Nijum TKO.
Yep.
Edson Barbosa's flying knee.
Where is he at? Where is Ramsey?
Nowhere.
What's Ramsey doing?
None. I think he's fighting in like Abu Dhabi with that promotion, the Desert FC or something. No, he's just gone. Oh, he was on the redemption season. That's right. He fought Julian Lane and knocked him out in the first round, and then he lost to James Krause.
Oh, okay. He's only 29. So you feel like he could pop up. I mean, maybe not in the UFC, but he could pop up in some other promotion.
I would have loved to have seen him in Bellator. Like, I think his Holbrook loss was crap.
Let's see. Maybe he'll pop up soon. But, yeah, I mean, shout out to Hernandez. You come in, short notice debut. You get a top guy out of there in 42 seconds. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Like it was just
Like,
vicious.
what more
It was
can you
vicious.
ask for in a debut, really?
Yeah, it doesn't get much better.
Only 25 years old, bro.
And at lightweight, once again, a division that the top 40 is like all killers. It's just killers
You
everywhere.
can pluck a dude off the regional scene who's not even the champion in the promotion, and he is a fucking killer.
Right. Ugh.
Imagine if heavyweight was like that.
We can only hope. Maybe in another 20 years, after this sport evolves into, I don't know who. I don't even want to think what MMA is gonna be like.
Francis Ngannou will be 50-something years old and be like the champion. Randy Couture will be making his comeback.
Roy Nelson is still going to be trying to land that right hand on people.
Roy Nelson, Bellator heavyweight champion.
Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Brock will still be testing positive, and they'll still be bringing him back. Oh, man. This sport in 50 years is going to be frightening.
Brock Lesnar, just like 60-year-old Brock Lesnar out here, like part-timing the WWE still. And just tossing around like
The Undertaker's still gonna make WrestleMania appearances. Oh boy. This next fight, John Dodson, Pedro Munoz. I didn't get to watch this in real time, so I only got a chance to see this fight once this morning. It seemed like Munoz couldn't really catch Dodson for most of this fight. Thought he started to do better, I think, towards the latter half of the fight. Because he did. I think he bloodied up Dodson's nose. I can't remember what he caught him with. But he started to do better towards the latter half of the fight. I don't have a ton to say on this because I don't remember it all that much. Just remember Dodson doing a lot of sticking and moving, kind of just getting out the way. Munoz kind of picked it up towards the end of the fight, but it was, I guess you could say, like too little, too late. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say because I don't remember this fight.
Have you ever seen a fighter do so much, so little with so much, like John Dodson? Like, John Dodson legitimately might be the best pure athlete in MMA. He's one of the hardest pound-for-pound punchers in the sport. Like, but he's also he does so little with it. Like he will legitimately just go in there and throw left hands for like 15, 25 minutes at a time and do nothing else.
Yeah, I was trying to remember when's the last time Dodson like flatlined somebody? 'Cause I remember I always remember like the Montague KO when he sent Montague. Was it Montague? I'm thinking somebody.
Daryl Montague.
Yeah, he sent him to another planet.
I guess Manvel Gambarian.
I barely even remember that.
It was when he came back up to bantamweight.
Yeah, it was when he came back up to 35. Yeah. I do feel like Dodson could be. He could be dishing out a lot more.
Like, he's never tired after a fight. Like, he'll forget the backflips. Like, you listen to him talk, he's talking like he just got done with a leg jog in the park.
Right. I mean, and you could say part of it, he coming up to 35, and it's not like he really gets any easy outing. Like, he's always fighting like top guys, but yeah, sometimes I watch him like I feel like you could be starching this dude right now, like, or at least like even if he's not finishing him,
more active.
Just a bit more active, really making them pay. Like, but I mean, he got the W. Not sure about the fight being a split decision. I thought Dodson won pretty clearly, from what I remember, but Munoz just kind of couldn't catch him. That's pretty much from the story of this fight. So another win for Dotson. But isn't he doing like the whole win-loss thing right now?
Yeah, because his last fight was the Marish fight.
Yeah. So, not sure who they. Has he fought a Sunset?
No,
Wouldn't
that
mind
could be
seeing it.
that could be a headache of a fight. You got a dude who throws so little in Dotson, and a dude who like a Sunset was just really funky. I could see that going wrong all types of ways.
Yeah, I mean, style-wise, yeah, it might, they neither one of them might leave with a ton of fans. I think ranking-wise, though, I wouldn't mind seeing that
Yeah.
fight. But we'll see. Solid win for Dotson. Like I said, he touched him up and just kind of just outpointed him to a split decision. But I'm still just waiting. I feel like Dotson's got one more of them flatlines in him. I want to see him just put somebody to sleep. But he got the win. Solid performance. So shout outs to him. In the last fight, at least on the Fox prelims, CB Dalloway, Hector Lombard ended in disqualification. I did not rewatch this fight. I don't remember really much of what went on in this fight until that ending sequence.
Nothing.
I feel like not a lot was really happening. Ending sequence. I think the Dalloway, you think he threw a kick. And then Lombard countered with a left and a right that landed. I thought in real time, I feel like this, and my judgment could be skewed. I was playing DBZ Fighters while this fight was on. So I was like half watching. But from what I remember, I feel like the horn sounded like when Dalloway threw the kick. And then by the time he threw the counter, the bell had been sounded already. I could be wrong. Memory's a little shoddy. But I want to ask, I don't know this, and like you said, there are no rules in this sport anymore. But officially, does the bell end the fight, or the ring, or does the
bell
official?
It's always the ref is supposed to hop in there, but you hear the bell, you hear the ref say stop, which he did. You stop.
I think only one of them got that memo.
Like I'm kind of surprised it's taking this long for Hector Lombard to get disqualified. Not because he's a dirty fighter, but because like the type of person he is, you'd expect him to be a dirty fighter. Like this is a dude who tried to have like a media member, a Sherdog media member, jumped when he was at a Bellator press conference. Like this is a dude who threatened to shoot somebody with like a bow and arrow. There's a dude famous for like breaking his like sparring partner's ankles and rolling.
That's the most gangster threat of all time. I'm gonna catch you with a bow and arrow. Oh man. But yeah, fight ended in. I don't know. It is what it is. I kind of don't feel one way or other about this fight, to be honest. I mean, it sucks for Dalloway. You don't want to end your fight on a DQ. Especially you were on the receiving end of the punches that he probably was not expecting.
I feel bad for CB. Like, dude, like the dude has like permanent spinal damage from that elevator incident.
Yeah, the elevator.
This was his comeback.
Yeah, and it ends in such a it just ends in just this weird way where it's like he didn't even really get to show anything because the fight only went around. And
oh wait, this is his second fight since then.
What was the other one?
At Herman last year.
That fight was fun from what I remember. Something else. I feel like he did work in that fight. But yeah, either way though, this ending, like you never want to fight to end on a DQ, especially like I said, he was on the receiving end where like he clearly stopped after the bell, and then he ate 2 shots that he just didn't even need to take.
Dude, like it was so like, oh god, just.
Oh, you still there?
Yeah. Him asking everybody what happened. What happened? What happened? You stopped the fight. You said stop. You said stop to the referee. I was like, ugh.
But I guess I don't know if it's really a positive.
You gotta win.
I mean, I feel like
We got to win.
Well, I mean, that's always a
Got
good
that
thing.
win bonus money.
You know, right? You get the win, you know, and I mean, it's not like he took a ton of damage in the fight. So I mean, if he's trying to have another fight, I feel like he could have a pretty quick turnaround
Who,
time.
Dalloway?
Hoping his back.
No, dude, he pretty clearly has a concussion. He's not fighting anytime soon.
I don't know. I mean, they give them those layoffs, but do they really do those?
I mean, if anybody cared about him, they would tell him not to do it. That's a straight up concussion.
Yeah, that's true. That was a Hector Lombard punch.
But Hector Lombard can fight again like next week if he wanted to.
That's the sad part.
You think they cut Hector Lombard? This is 5 losses in a row.
You might be right. Maybe they don't cut people anymore. I didn't even realize he lost that many in a row until I looked at his record. Like, Jesus Christ, it's been a. I remember when he came over from Bellator, man.
He was supposed to be the dude that beat Silva.
Right, he was supposed to be the Anderson killer.
Oh my God, that
Boy,
was
did his
6
career.
years ago.
Yep. Boy did his career just. Yeah.
Nosedive.
Yeah.
But it's not even like he didn't have success because dude, he was a top 5 welterweight at one point, beat Nate Marquardt and Jake Shields.
Like, he's had some solid wins, but then he's just had some...
Then he had a really terrible run.
Right. That started with Neil Magny, of all people.
I mean...
Props to Magny, though. It's not a slight.
Yeah.
But he started the skid, and from then on, the skid just got worse and worse.
Our Lombard losses are basically the same, where he's winning until he's not.
Man. But, I mean, I hope Dalloway's good. Pretty hard shots he ate. But, I mean, I hope he's good. I hope he can still get back from that back injury from the elevator. I hope you get all your money from you suing those guys, because that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Like, they literally just took years off of this man's career. But you know, a win nonetheless. You got your win bonus money, so that's, you know, more money in the wallet, always a good thing. So that fight kind of just is what it is. These last 3, I mean, a little bit to talk about. Poor Mike Powell, retirement fight against Zach Otto. Didn't end the way you would want your retirement fight to go. I think it was the left. I think he got clean with a left.
I don't even remember. All I remember is he lost bad. He lost the only way you leave this. The only way you can actually leave MMA, like on your ass, with somebody beating your face in.
Yeah, it sucks. Like, he's been around for, this dude's been, I feel like he's been fighting like since I was born. But yeah, his career unfortunately ended on a 3-fight skid.
Just like Brad Pickett.
I mean, he was one of those guys, man. He stuck it out to the very the very end. But I mean, big picture overall, like, solid fighter who's one of those dudes, like, really like a true vet of the sport. He's been around. He's fought the who's who.
He was in Men in Black 3. Yeah.
Really? Who did he play in Men in Black 3?
Just like a small bit role, apparently. I'm looking at his Wikipedia.
I like that movie. Came out like 20 years late, but I mean, Powell throughout his career, he's been on the end of some bad KOs, but he's had his fair share of dishing out punishment, so he's been on both ends of the spectrum. You know, so best of luck to him in retirement. You know, obviously didn't in the way you would hope it would, but the sport is very unforgiving. And to Otto's credit, I mean, he went in there, he did what he had to do, he got him out of there within a round. So yeah.
My favorite part of this fight was them basically saying on like commentary that Mike Powell's retired because they don't pay him well enough to fight anymore.
That's terrible. Ah, that's terrible. Terrible. But I mean, Powell's like 40 something, so I mean, hopefully he can have a successful life outside of MMA. But yeah, that fight kind of is.
I'll see you in 2 years, Mike Powell. Like, is his contract up? Because like I could see him going to Bellator.
Yeah, that could definitely conceivably happen. Well, we'll see. But Zach Otto got that fight out in the round, so congrats to him. Cody Stamen and Brian Caraway, the next fight. It's a really good. I thought this was a really good fight. I was pretty entertained. I was actually impressed with Caraway early in the fight, where it kind of seemed like Cody was definitely like the more like athletic and faster of the two, but like Caraway, I thought for at least a portion of this fight was able to like slow the fight down to what he wanted. Both were landing some pretty good shots. I think Caraway was pretty bloody by the end of this one. It was really close. I can't remember who I scored it for. I'm not mad at either or if anybody would have picked the win, because I thought it was a pretty close fight. I think I gave Caraway the first. He had a really nice. What did he do? It was a takedown. It was something he did on the ground that was really dope, and I can't remember.
Oh, he hit crap. He spun around for the armbar at the end of the round, right?
It was something really slick Caraway did.
Oh, he stepped over on the He stepped over on like a Kimura attempt or something.
That whole sequence was like really dope. Like that was really slick. Something that Caraway did. I think I gave Caraway the first. The second was really close. I think I edged it to Cody though, because I think in the second he started to land a bit more. And the third, I think I gave the third to Stamen. Like Caraway, I think he ended the third strong, but Cody kind of thought was getting the better of most of that round. But it was a really good like back and forth fight. Both of them just kind of slugging it out. Cody I just thought was a bit quicker to the punch. Kind of just younger, faster. That whole thing. Good win for Cody. That's a good name to have on your resume. When was the last time we've seen Caraway? Was it the Aljamain? When was Caraway's last time?
Yeah, that was it, I think.
I just kind of feel like I haven't seen him.
Yeah, he hasn't fought since May 2016. Injuries and stuff like that have kept him out. So
yeah, but good. I mean, he lost the fight. You don't want to come back on a loss, but I don't think like he didn't look like terrible or anything. Like he looked pretty good. He had really good moments. I think Cody was just kind of younger, faster, quicker to the punch. And I think he did a good later in the fight of kind of stuffing takedowns and things like that. But it was a really entertaining fight. It was pretty entertaining to watch these two dudes just kind of go back and forth, and then Cody ends up getting the split decision his way.
Right. This was like the only good fight in the first like 5 fights on this card.
Yeah.
So
you can say that.
Cody, I was really impressed. Like he was more aggressive in the first round, and it ended up with him with Caraway hitting a surprise takedown on him and really messing him up from the top. But so he comes out in the second and third and stuffs like 20 takedowns. I want to say something around 20 takedowns, and just counters the crap out of him for a good amount of that time. Like Caraway was still landing because by virtue of just like having a lot of volume and just not giving a damn. But Cody's game is really coming together really nice. I really like it. I think the thing that's going to stop him is that he doesn't have a lot of pop. Like, he hits kind of hard, but he's not out here like knocking guys down and stuff, and that's probably going to hurt him in the long run. But like, otherwise, I really like his game. Like, just like really simple, easy, like fluid. Like, he adapts really well. I feel bad for Caraway. Like, injury, like between all the injuries, you know, the shit with his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, he's had a rough.
I'm not like a Brian Caraway fan, but like the dude's pretty good. He should have been out here mixing up with the best of them for the past couple of years, but instead he's been dealing with all this other crazy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see why he took 2 years off. He's had a lot, a lot going on to say the least, within the last two. But I still think for a comeback fight, for not having fought in like 2 years, he didn't. It's not like he looked terrible or anything, or like he got dominated.
Right, and he arguably won the fight.
Yeah. So yeah, you could have scored this fight for him, and I don't think anybody would have been angry about it. And I still think, albeit, I don't think Stamen was ranked.
Nah.
But I mean, I would still consider Caraway. Like, I wasn't really a huge Caraway fan either, but like skill wise, he's still a top guy. He still can hang in there with the best of them. His grappling can give a lot of people fits.
I hope he said he wanted to fight 4 times this year. I hope the UFC does that and just gets him fights. Like, you got a whole bunch of young dudes at bantamweight who are looking for a big fight. Just line them up with Brian Caraway, see how good they really are.
Yeah. So, but we'll see. But impressive performance from both. But congrats to Stamen. He eked out that win. And last fight, Jordan Johnson and Adam Milstead. Milstead was the guy. What was his last fight? Didn't he have like an injury? Who did he fight? Because I remember his name.
Oh, Chris Blades.
Okay, yeah. So I guess just good on him from even coming back from that. Because they were saying in the commentary like he really wanted to fight again after that, but his coaches were keeping him on the sideline, like they wanted him to make sure he was like completely healed, so on and so forth. But Jordan Johnson ended up getting the W. All I remember from this fight isn't even really the fight itself. I just remember Rogan and everybody on commentary complaining about the ref, who was apparently breaking up. Like anytime Jordan would have Milstead in the clinch on the fence, or maybe like his head down under, like trying to go for a takedown, and the ref would just break him up.
That was really shitty because like Jordan Johnson was working.
Yeah, and the ref was just like, everybody on commentary was so pissed. But yeah, I mean, not really a ton that I remember from this fight that stood out. Just kind of one of those grind them out, really ugly, dirty kind of fight. I mean, Milstead had some moments. He cracked him a few good times. I think he did. Pretty sure he landed a few good shots, but Jordan just kind of, he was landing good strikes back and just ended up kind of just grinding them out for the W.
Right. Like my main takeaway was Milstead's the more natural fighter, and Jordan's kind of just like the smarter one. Milstead spent like the first 2 rounds of this fight and parts of the third just like with his back up against the cage, just being content to just sit there and wait for the ref to break them up or try to make space to like throw a punch or an elbow, and he cracked Johnson a couple times with it, but like he spent most of his time just eating punches to the body and to the leg and like those weird front kicks that Johnson was throwing to like his calf, and just like not doing anything, like not trying to circle away from the cage, not trying to like circle to the center of the cage. But anytime they were at distance, he was lighting up Johnson. Yeah, just like really bad game planning, I guess. I'm happy his knee's better. Because I know he's a like what's that like? What's your job when you lay pipes?
Um,
Like it's not.
oh, hold up. I'm mad that I'm googling this. I should not have googled this. Don't ever Google lay pipe.
Yeah, no. Like, or was it railroad? Like he does like one of those types of jobs.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like he's not a welder, I think. Like this is gonna drive me insane because I just looked this up.
Well, is it literally called pipe layer or pipe lifter?
Something like that. But I could have sworn there was like a title.
Either way, one of those physically demanding jobs where you need your knees.
Yeah, like you actually need to be not destroyed. A pipeliner.
Okay, that was close.
Yeah, he does that like 12 hours a day. So like when his coaches refused to call the fight against freaking Curtis Blades, I was like, "What's wrong with you? You're ruining both his livelihoods."
Right.
So I was happy to see him back. Happy to see him at 205 because I think he's so much better at this weight. Um, like I think he probably has a higher ceiling than Johnson. To be honest with you, I think Johnson's a smart fighter. I don't necessarily think he's going to be like a great fighter. Like he's going to be a middle of the road dude who tests how smart you are. But they're both really young in their career, so who knows? But like smart win for Jordan Johnson. Jordan Big Swinging Johnson. Best nickname. I don't know what you do with him. He's 3-0, but like, do you put him in there with like a Misha Serkinov?
No. I, I don't know if he's ready for that yet. But then the thing is, at 205, I mean, you either have to give him somebody like Serkinov or you match him up with another up-and-coming 205er and just see who makes the cut out of those two. And then maybe that person goes on to fight Serkinov. I don't know. I don't know. You might be forced to do that fight just off of principle, just off of like a lack of bodies, so to speak.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Glover
I don't know.
Teixeira it is.
Time to separate the men from the boys. Oh man, but yeah, solid win for Jordan Johnson. So that was pretty much the card overall. Like I said, there were a lot of little moments in this card that just got me angry. People I was rooting for lost, and probably a combination of that and me not having internet and the weather being out of control. I was irritated a lot this weekend. But I did learn something. When I don't have internet, I'm crazy productive. I got so much done. Up until like 6:30.
So what you're saying is you should get rid of the internet.
I don't say get rid of, but I might have to do some weekly purges. I have a big stack of like papers that I have on my desk that I should have shredded like years ago, and when I didn't have internet, I just finally shredded them all yesterday, and like now my desk is clear and it's amazing. So yeah, some days take your internet away from yourself. You can get a lot done. But I also played Zelda for like 5 hours because I didn't have internet. That was awesome. But that was UFC 222. Pretty good card overall. Like I said, the prelims were, some of the fights were kind of like hit or miss. But I feel like once it got to the main card, things kind of picked up, and then it definitely from the O'Malley fight on, it ended on like a really really high note. And we got to see a lot of young prospects. You know, people make debuts, people make good first impressions. So at least, you know, there was things of substance on this card to pull away from, at least for the future. So that was awesome. So I was pretty pleased. This combined with the Wilder fight, even though I didn't really get to see it all in real time. Lots of violence went on this weekend, and it was enjoyable. Lots of good fights going on. Coming up, is this the break? I believe.
We got 1 week, and then after that we got 2 weeks before the next event.
So next UFC card is Werdum Volkov. That's UFC Fight Night 127 on the 17th. Bellator had a Monster Energy car. Is that the NASCAR or Monster truck? What's the Bellator Monster Energy? I'm guessing that's
the one where they put down like. Oh my God! Did you see a fighter from one of the NASCAR events, the previous ones, posted a video of like the warm up area, and it's literally just cardboard on the floor. Like they even bothered to get puzzle mats.
Wow. Hold on, so that happened yesterday. But if you go on ShareDog, they don't even tell you who won.
Nobody knows who won.
Yeah, it was headlined by Lawson McClure and Josh Blitten. So one of those two won. Nobody will know. But so yeah, 17th we got that. Next Bellator card, or one worth mention. That next one isn't until April. Any boxing fights coming up?
This week I got this thing open here.
Kovalev fought.
Yes, he knocked out. He's dead. The fight got stopped on a cut. Mikey Garcia versus Sergey Lipinets is going down. Oh wait, that was last month. What the heck? No, I think that fight got postponed. So I'm confused because
all the fights have been canceled. we have no fights coming
Sergey
up.
Lipinets is fighting Mikey Garcia. Yes, on Showtime next Saturday, with Rances Bartholomew and Richard Comey fighting on the undercard. Anybody else? All right. There's a ONE FC card next week.
Who's on?
Let's see. It was supposed to be Moraes, but I think he got hurt. There's a Deep Jewels 19 card, which will feature Kana Watanabe and King Reina. Mm-hmm.
Always a good sight. Oh, Kristen Lee's on the one card. Oh, he's cold.
Right. I didn't see him on the poster. Got a whole bunch of them just saved to my computer. What is this? Who is this? This is nobody would know who they are. Oscar Valdez versus Scott Quigg, going down next Saturday on ESPN. That's actually a really good fight. So, if everybody's interested, there's that. And oh wait, did you know Julian Lane was supposed to fight Friday?
No, I did not.
He was supposed to fight for Ring of Combat, but his opponent got injured, and then he got arrested.
A strange turn of events.
I mean, it's not that strange.
What did he get arrested for?
Assault.
Jesus Christ.
I think he tried to attack James McSweeney.
Let's say either that pissed that your fight fell through, that you had to fight anyway. All that training had to go somewhere.
Yep, and now he's out here trying to goad James McSweeney to a fight for like $10,000. So,
oh Lord,
there's that. But yeah, there's other stuff going on. So,
I've been sitting here trying to think, going into pardon shots and shout outs. I should have wrote this down because I definitely had a shot and I cannot remember. I'm pretty sure somebody got me angry this weekend. I can't think of who it was. This was this. But that was UFC 222. All the fights going down this weekend. Pretty awesome weekend of fights. I still got to go back, watch Glory, watch LFA, catch up on some of those that I missed because Mother Nature took my internet away from me. But pretty awesome night of fights. So guess before we close, as always, parting shots and shout outs. I had a shot and a shout out, and I cannot remember either one of them right now. You got any?
Frankie Edgar Truthers. Fuck y'all.
Oh.
I literally just had another one, but it is like it evaporated from my mind, and now I can't think of it. I don't know.
Oh, actually, you know what? I just thought of my two. I'll start off with a shout out on a positive note. Not fighter news or anything. Shout out to my friend Carl, who proposed to his girlfriend yesterday, so they are now engaged. So congrats to you. I had to call him before I got old and fell asleep, because apparently the proposal happened. Well, I think that he proposed while the Wilder fight was still on. It was like just wrapping up. So I had to give him the congrats before I got old and fell asleep. But congrats to you two. That's awesome. I actually have two friends who are engaged now. So shout outs to my homie Carl and my friend Taj, who are both engaged. Parting shot, man. Parting shot to everybody who wants Lamar Jackson from Louisville to be a wide receiver. Like, we got to cut this out. Like, I don't get it. I don't. I get it. The man, you know, he's got the Mike Vick going on. He's like Mike Vick 2.0. At least in college, we'll see how that translates to the league. People just are so bent on turning this guy into a wide receiver. It's like, can we at least give the man a shot at quarterback where he's played his entire life? I don't think he's ever taken a snap as a wide receiver. Let the man be a quarterback in the league. And if that doesn't work out, then maybe we can do the wide receiver talk. But until then, I don't want to hear any of that wide receiver noise, man. The dude is like one of the most exciting quarterbacks we've seen in a long time. I would like to see him just get a shot at quarterback before we talk about making him a wide receiver and all that noise. So, so a shot to everybody who's just, yeah, you guys need to stop. Let Lamar Jackson do his thing, man.
Oh, I finally remember my other shot. Shot to all you weird ass people who every time a rapper does something crazy, not even something crazy, something stupid, like murder somebody, and then you just fucking scream free insert rapper here.
Oh boy. Who
TK. Do you know this dude?
Is that the light skinned dude?
That's a 16-year-old from Texas.
Okay, no, I don't know. Oh, I don't know who this is. Why do you have to be from my birthday? Oh, you still there? I think we lost you.
I am completely sympathetic with the whole school to prison pipeline industrial complex. I understand that. But this TK dude murdered a dude while robbing him. Got caught. Got an ankle bracelet put on him. Proceeded to cut the bracelet off when he could not get, he seemed pretty sure he was going to go to jail and run away. And while he was on the road, he killed 2 more people.
Yeah, we can't be yelling free that guy.
Yeah, no. Yeah, and then he wrote a song called The Race that starts with the bar. Take it. All right. The first bars, fuck a beat. I was trying to beat a case, but I ain't beat the case, bitch. I did the race.
Oh, no.
He released this while he was on the run from the cops, while also posting pictures of himself with his wanted posters at random places until he was found here in Jersey. In, where was he? Elizabeth, something like that.
Oh boy,
But
we gotta do better.
I mean, y'all could actually scream for free. Insert person who actually, is a victim
Right.
of profiling. But yeah, I realize y'all like his song, but like, come on.
Yeah, we gotta do better. I don't get the whole posting the wanted. Well, I get it. Social media
He
generation.
is 16. He does not give a fuck.
That is true. This is what happens when you don't have good friends. If your friends were really your good friends, they would tell you how stupid you are.
His stupid A&R manager is like, yo, I'm the next genius, and he's on Twitter like trying to, I don't know, like big himself up, get himself a deal, but using the fact that like this dude's song hit the Billboard charts as like recognition that he's a great talent manager, while his talent is sitting in the jail cell.
Oh boy, yeah, that's. I feel like that's been a problem that's just been around. Like,
I mean, it'll never go away. People always
Yeah.
Insert celebrity here, insert musician here is always going to be like, if they got fans, they're going to be all over that day.
Yeah, we gotta do better.
Or at least less worse.
But I guess by the time you guys hear this, I recorded a review of Black Panther and Sky Zoo's album, and what was the other album I did? Silver in the Queue. But due to me not having internet, couldn't post it. So by the time you hear that review, I recorded this like way earlier. But by the time you guys hear this, it should be out. That's a lot of albums that came out like these last couple months. So reviews will definitely be coming. Fonte put out the album yesterday. Yeah, there's been a lot of good hip hop coming out as of late. So reviews will definitely be on the way. Like I said, we got the Volkov Verdum fight coming up, and even during the break, this little like week break or 2 weeks or whatever when we don't have fights, there'll still be stuff to talk about. I don't know, we might have to get Stokes and Joey back on here to do another 4-hour podcast. I don't know, but shout out to everybody who watched that. I went back and looked at the numbers. Shout out to everybody who sat through those 4 hours, three almost 4. Y'all are some troopers. But as always, before we get out of here, podcasts can be listened to on YouTube, SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes. If you're on iTunes, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Share this podcast with a friend. We grow by word of mouth. It's the best way to get us out there. So tag somebody in a post if you like this. Get them to listen. And maybe they'll tag somebody else. So on, so forth. Follow me on Twitter at Serial Sensei. Send questions, concerns, and angry hate mail if you want to Dojotalkpodcast at yahoo.com. And that's pretty much it. As always, anytime people are being punched and or kicked in the face, we will be there to talk about it. And hopefully we catch you guys soon. Peace.